How's it going, everyone? Buddy the Bruiser here, your much more intelligent and attractive host of Two Nerds, a Podcast, coming at you with episode 5, part 1 of our illustrious show. That's right, 5, part 1. We ended up recording way longer than we expected to, so we decided to break it up into 2 separate parts. In this first part, you're going to hear us talk about a wide range of topics, everything from Charlottesville to Ric Flair, Tim Allen's tweets, and Superbad's 10th anniversary. Also, make sure you guys stay tuned for part 2, which will be coming out later today. Thanks, guys, and enjoy the episode.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you a special presentation of
Two Nerds, a Podcast. Your home for everything movies, music, video games, and everything in between. With your hosts, Buddy the Bruiser, and Dynamite Jared Latching.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Two Nerds, a Podcast. I am Buddy the Bruiser.
And I'm Dynamite Jared Latchey. Welcome to Two Nerds, a Podcast.
So how's it going, pal? Old buddy, old pal.
It's going great. It's going.
That's good to hear.
I was about to say something very personal that's nobody's business, so I'm just gonna keep that one.
All right.
I'll just tuck that one away.
So let's just get right to it, I guess.
Anyway, we got a really shitty show for you guys this week, just as we do every week. So if that's your thing, keep on listening.
And hit that subscribe button and make sure to leave this video a thumbs up and leave us a comment letting us know what you think about this episode. It's
true.
We actually did get some feedback on our last episode. I don't know if you saw.
I saw a couple of comments early on, but then I usually...
Oh, so you didn't see the big one?
No, I didn't see the big one.
The illustrious Miles Ackroyd.
Oh, okay. Oh,
okay.
Shit.
But
damn, fuck, I'm pissed that I didn't read that now.
Well, I will read it on the show, just because he did ask us a question, and we told people to ask us some questions.
All right,
for
great,
this.
fantastic. Thank you, Miles. Thanks for the question.
But before we get to Miles, let's start out with Twitter. Many of you who follow our Twitter account at 2nerds316, we put out a poll, just a tweet that said, tweet us your questions and we will answer them on the show. And we actually got a response.
What the fuck?
So
you guys took that seriously? We don't want to answer your questions. What the hell is this?
But we will.
All right.
Of course. So for those of you that saw the tweet, you know I tweeted out a little GIF of a puppy dog, and he was waving his head back and forth, and it had the little question marks on his head.
I actually didn't even see the tweet.
You retweeted it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, anyway.
I guess I saw it.
It was a dog, and it had a bunch of question marks appear, and I should probably look and see what his Twitter name is. Just for accuracy's sake.
Very professional that he brings this question to the table without knowing the Twitter name of the asker here.
Let's see.
Buddy the Bruiser.
Okay, so it's Aaron L. Photography.
Aaron L. Photography. All right.
And in response to our GIF of a puppy dog, he said, GIF had me wondering how many dogs you have.
Okay.
So, I do not have any dogs. So, Jared, you can just take the reins on this.
Your girlfriend has a lizard.
She does. A lizard named Pierre. He's a young Frenchman.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
It's kind of like a dog.
Kind of.
It's like a cold-blooded dog.
He eats a lot of crickets and shit.
Yeah.
He's ruthless.
Shit, my dog would probably do that, too, if I provided him with crickets. I have a dog. His name is Austin, named after the great, the one and only, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He is a brindle bastard of a American Bulldog and boxer mixture there. He's a wild one, and my girlfriend absolutely hates him, and I love him to death. And so that's my dog. That's my one and only dog. I got 4 cats, but I have 1 dog.
I have 2 cats. So
do you?
I do.
I might have seen one when I went to your house like that one time.
Possibly, yeah. 2 cats. But yeah, on to our YouTube comments, questions.
Right.
We got a lot. We got a lot that were just like, "Wow, nice podcast."
Yeah, good shit.
Loved the episode, stuff like that.
Man, I love that.
The boys from Two Nerds are back from Angel Movies.
Saw that one, yeah. We are back.
Franco says, "Love this show. Keep it up, guys."
Oh, thank you, Franco, for listening to this bullshit.
And No Star Reviews says, nothing beats the Brahma Bull tattoo.
Oh,
Which-
whoa.
We'll get onto that a little
Yeah,
bit
well,
later.
you know,
We'll
The Rock
discuss
has
that.
something else to say about that.
Yeah. And just a couple other comments, but the big one from the illustrious Miles Ackroyd.
Yes.
Proud graduate of the Tom Savini School of Special Effects.
It's true.
Yes.
Speaking of Tom Savini, Twitter tweeted out the thing, the Charlotte Banks.
the Sasha Banks.
The Sasha
the
Banks.
Charlotte
the
Banks.
Charlotte Banks. The Sasha Banks zombie makeup that she did.
And didn't they get the name wrong
yeah.
or something?
Yeah,
Or what-
they said Tom Servini.
Oh, okay.
And
Like from WWE's official account, or was it just someone that
it
tweeted?
it was like the Twitter trend.
Oh,
It was
okay.
trending on Twitter.
Oh, okay, I got
It's
you.
like the main page of the Twitter trend misspelled Tom Savini's
Yes.
last name. And so I tweeted a screenshot
Yes.
of it and corrected it. I didn't
Cool.
know who to @ for that because
Sasha Banks and WWE and Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Well, I
So I recall-
doubt that they
No, they had nothing to do with that.
yeah.
Okay, so here's what Miles had to say about our last
Well,
episode.
all right, let's go.
The Yu-Gi-Oh segment was too long but enjoyable. But there's more.
All right.
Please hold your comments till the end, Jared.
I made no comment. I just started laughing.
Your giggles. I have seen the new It trailer that is basically a clip of the film plus the one you guys saw. I am sold. I appreciate Jared's opinions on slasher remakes. I actually defended certain parts of the Nightmare on Elm Street remake today, so this made me laugh. I love H2. Needs more WWE talk. Miles, we'll get to that. I don't hate either of you.
Thank God.
I would say I should have watched a different episode to try to get back into it, but better length and more digestible in a 46 to 50 minute length. We will try to do that today. Today might be a little long. But
we got some stuff to get
we got
into,
some stuff.
WWE related.
Yeah.
Usually when we get into WWE, that's when we start getting into like the hour and a half,
Yeah.
2 hour long episodes.
But the question he poses to us,
Okay.
and he suggested it as a poll for later on, but maybe you can decipher this. I don't know what he's trying to say.
let's see.
No,
Oh,
I'll read it to you.
All right.
I
don't know how to read.
It says, I have a poll question for a future show. Who sucks D, and then there's 2 little stars, K, better, Jared or Buddy? So I don't know what this 4-letter word that he's referring to is, but I have some guesses. It's 4 letters, it starts with a D and ends in a K. So it could be duck,
Oh, sure.
could be dark, could be desk, could be dork, could be deck, could be duck, dunk, disc, dink, dank, and I don't know which one it is. I don't know what. The mystery is. It's been haunting me for the past several days on what he was trying to say to us.
It's got to be.
It's got to be duck
Do you think so? I was going to go with
or desk.
dark.
I've sucked plenty of desks in my day.
I've
So you've sucked the dark.
probably licked some desk in my day. Back in my school days, I probably licked a desk or 2. What about dank?
I said dank, I think.
Yeah, you did. You did say it, but that's a very because when you
suck dank?
suck dank, it's basically
I got you.
Yeah, taking a drag there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe a poll for a future episode.
It could be a
If
poll
we-
for a future episode. It's a little sexual in nature there, and Miles specifically asked me because he was like, "Hey, I'm going to listen to your podcast." All right, so Miles gave me fair warning. He's, "Hey, I'm going to check out the podcast," but I listened to it at work. So he's like, "I need to know how much cussing there is and how many sexual situations you guys are bringing up here." Because I listened to it at work. And I was like, I don't think there are any sexual situations that we bring up in the last episode. But
Not until the coming months. where
no,
it'll-
not till Sextember and Cocktober. Those are coming up. Yeah, man. So I think it's kind of strange that Miles is, forcing a sexual topic onto us right now. But hey, man, if you want to talk about us sucking on objects, then we'll talk about that. Desks, duck. You ever sucked on a duck?
I might have suckled on a feather here or there in my life.
I've sucked on some duck sauce before, so. All right, so got those questions out of the way, and now to some
So a little grimmer topic here.
some Why am I still laughing?
This is as serious as we're getting on this podcast.
This is a serious topic.
And you're
here.
still giggling.
I'm in the podcast.
And there's a train coming, and it's really fucking loud.
Yeah, so, anyways.
There's a bad train a-coming.
You know, my good friend Ed Mishik is thinking about starting a podcast, and he asked for some advice on Facebook or people that would be willing to help out, and somebody commented on it and said, for advice, don't laugh at your own show. All right. I don't think I laugh at too many of mine. I laugh at some of the stupid shit that you say.
Yeah. And I laugh at some of the stupid shit. I don't know if we ever laugh at each other's jokes. This is just the other way around.
Yeah.
Like, we laugh at each other's, not our own.
Yeah. Anyways, so for those of you that have eyes and ears and have been paying attention, this past weekend, right around the time that we were recording our last episode.
But unfortunately, our internet was out, so we were not aware of this until...
We were not aware, but
until after it had occurred.
Until we...
Published last week.
Successfully uploaded it, because obviously we had to have internet to upload the episode.
Yeah.
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Yeah.
Played host to a alt-right KKK neo-Nazi rally last Saturday, and man, things
are not looking good.
I don't know why you're laughing.
I'm not, because I'm trying to think of what you're gonna.
I didn't know what I was gonna say. It's just a kind of like a tough situation. Buddy, are you a racist?
No.
All right, neither am I. We here on Two Nerds a Podcast firmly stand against racism, fascism, sexism, misogyny. Even if we make jokes about these topics from time to time,
it's for the sake of humor.
We're just making jokes. When real fucking neo-Nazis and KKK members start showing up on our TVs and on our Twitter
Internet
feeds and stuff like that, it's not funny. And honestly, I'm disgusted with what's going on. And we just want to say our condolences go out to the family of the girl who was murdered in a terror attack during those rallies. And
just everyone who was affected by it.
There was other people. There were other people that no one's talking about that got hurt.
Yeah. Also
in there, that sucks that they even got hurt. And there are people that are fighting out there and everything, and this fucking so-called peaceful protest of the alt-right.
Well, they had permits. It's okay. They had they had their permits.
They have fucking permits. Yeah. So I just sent out a tweet today. Your girlfriend's dad.
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah.
I guess that all it takes in this country is a permit for you to go outside and be a bigoted asshole.
Yeah.
Did
you see, I thought it was a fake news article at first, but it wasn't. I thought it was like The Onion, but it said like they were bringing that one dude to trial, like the one like main Nazi that's like in the pictures or whatever.
David Duke?
No, the one holding the torch.
Okay.
And it said they couldn't bring, like, they were debating whether or not it should even go to court because he, quote, looks like a dick or something. And I thought it was like an Onion article, but it was like an actual thing.
Oh, man. We shouldn't laugh at any of this. All these guys should go to trial. Another weird fact that a lot of people that are actually... There's a lot of people on the internet that supposedly are not alt-right, but are defending the alt-right protesters because they had a permit. And here's the thing about the permit. They violated their permit. Mm-hmm. They marched in places where they were not permitted to march. And they also incited violence. Yeah, let's not sit here and pretend like these guys were sitting here having a peaceful protest. They came with military-grade guns. They came with helmets, riot shields.
Tiki torches.
Which,
okay, I know we shouldn't be making jokes, but first off, the pictures of all the guys with the torches, looks like the mob chasing after Shrek at the beginning of Shrek. And two...
It became a meme.
It became a meme immediately.
Became a meme
but
real fast.
I don't know if you knew about this, but Tiki Torch, the brand, actually issued a statement that that they are that they are like no way affiliated with the alt-right.
Well,
and
we take their money, but
and they were like, we are strictly for use of providing wholesome backyard entertainment for all races. Like the Tiki Torch brand is like,
oh man, was anyone even thinking about like coming at Tiki Torch for supplying these guys with their torches? Come on, guys. They just went to fucking Home Depot and got some Tiki Torches. Like, maybe we should start carding these guys at Walmart now when they're trying to check out with their Tiki Torches. Like, you know, making sure they're not Nazis or something.
yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, buddy, and I hope that you're of the same opinion, permit or no permit, you know, whatever. If you are a Nazi,
You're a fuck.
fuck you.
You are a fuck.
Okay, Nazis are bad. There's no fucking arguments that you could convince me of otherwise. I mean, dude, let's face it. Our American propaganda has been aimed towards us ever since that I was born, and ever since the 40s has been fuck Nazis.
Yes, exactly.
They're terrible. They're video game villains. They're movie villains. They're TV show villains. They're villains in all of our books.
Everything.
Then like there's people, even if they're not specifically a Nazi, a lot of villains in these things are based heavily
In racism.
on Nazis.
And like the Nazi, like,
You see these people, they're not Nazis per se.
But
Like, they don't have that title. They're wearing like the same fucking uniform. If I recall correctly, the Empire in Star Wars
It's based off not like that's what I mean. It's based off
on
the
Nazis.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day, Frieza is kind of like Hitler. You know what I mean? Like, except Hitler was probably a better motivational speaker than Frieza was.
I would assume.
But I mean, going around enslaving entire planets, destroying them, committing mass genocide.
Yeah.
He was a tyrant fascist, much in the vein of Hitler. So like a lot of these guys, Hitler's literally a storybook villain that actually existed in real life. And so, I mean, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're a Nazi, you're terrible, and you either need to reconsider your views. You need to reconsider your views.
Yeah, regardless. Yeah.
Or get the fuck out of my country.
Yeah.
Make room for some of the hardworking people that aren't exactly
the dumbest thing. Like I saw
that we're trying to deport. You know,
where
what I mean?
like people saying that like this alt-right thing was like for the veterans, and I was like, the veterans were fighting in World War II against the
veterans
Nazis.
that fought,
I was like, what?
Yeah, the veterans that fought in World War II fought against the Nazis.
I was like, what are you even talking about?
And I mean, you've seen veterans on Twitter tweeting about, like, some of them that are left. I'm fucking blown away that any World War II veterans know how to fucking use a Twitter machine.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I saw one that was like, you know, I signed up for the U.S. military. I'm not going to do the math in my head right now, but it's fucking a long time ago.
The 40s.
You know, however many years ago to fight the Nazis, and I'll do it again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there it is, loud and clear. Neo-Nazis and KKK, who's been here for a long-ass time. Listen, man, we don't want you here. None of us want you here. Like,
well,
you
they want themselves here.
Yeah, well, they
like,
claim that they're fighting for the American way. You're not. This is not the American way.
No.
I watched the video clip of Charles Barkley talking to whatever that guy's name was. He's a alt-right leader. You know, I don't try and commit these dudes' names.
The one that got punched in the face.
It might have been
like the high-profile one.
Yeah.
From like earlier this year.
Yeah. Charles Barkley was talking to him, man, and just some of the shit that this guy was saying.
Yeah.
Just blew my mind that like anyone could sit here and say any of this shit.
I actually saw on Twitter the other day that like the first black reporter went to like a KKK,
oh yeah, I saw that
burning.
today. Yeah. And like the dude was just straight up like, "Oh, we're gonna burn you out.
Yeah,
like, we're gonna burn all your people out." Dude, fuck you. What are you, there like 200 of you in the whole country?
Yeah.
Like, there's more than that.
Yeah,
obviously, which is the scary thing.
Right.
But I mean, come on, start. I want them to. I want the KKK to start committing terror attacks in the United States, because that way we'll have no choice but to mobilize our military to just fucking wipe these scumbags out. And that's exactly what they are. They're scumbags. And to me, it's just a damn shame. It's a fucking travesty of any entity or whatever these people believe in that put us on this planet, that these people have the ability to reproduce. Mm-hmm. That's the scary thing, is that these people are out there and they're not able to convince me of their wrong ideologies, but they're able to give birth. And most of these people are huge, like, family people. They love giving birth. And so, like, these people are having kids and they're teaching them this shit. And I just hope that one day, that cycle can be broken. But anyways, we've talked about this long enough.
Yeah.
It's not nerdy enough.
It's time to get back to some comedy. We do have one thing later on that might bring us down a notch, but we'll get back to comedy for a little bit.
I didn't even see that when I was looking at the
man.
thing.
But we'll get to that a little bit later. So, did you see Tim Allen's tweet recently?
I'm the one that suggested we talk about it. Yes, I saw Tim Allen's tweet. I can't. Oh, actually, I can.
You can look up exactly.
I screenshotted it so that I could get quick access here. Tim Allen with the check mark, so we know that he's verified. This is the OFC Tim Allen, official Tim Allen. Didn't you work with one of his kids?
Tim Allen?
No. Whose kid did you work with?
I don't know if I can say I fucking...
you said it on the podcast.
Did I really?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Tim Robbins.
Okay, yeah. It's fine. We have 30 viewers. It's okay. All right, Tim Allen. If we evolved from apes, why are there still apes?
Jesus Christ. I was astounded.
Oh, boy. Twitter just went absolutely ballistic on this, and I unfortunately did not screenshot a lot of the replies here. Most of them were just kind of along the vein of, wow, pick up a book, read something, Tim Allen.
Evolution, it is a process that takes many, many years.
It's true.
And it does happen over time. It's not like all apes turned into humans.
And not just to mention that, but apes have evolved in many different ways.
Yes.
That, some have eventually evolved into us humans. But I mean, dude, look how many fucking types of primates there are on the planet right now. And, do I really have to explain this
Here's
to
the thing.
people?
We're going back and talking about nerdy things in a different sort of way. And we're talking about the theory of evolution on the podcast right now.
It's getting deep, man. We're talking racism, evolution, man. This is just one
Season 2 is getting deep.
This is one of the podcasts that just really makes you fucking think. I mean, it really just gets you in that oh god, what's the dude's name? And the statue, the thinker or whatever.
The thinker.
Yeah, I didn't know if he had like a philosopher name or anything like that. Really just gets you into that kind of that posture there to really just sit there and think about some of the finer, some of the deeper things in life. I'm going out of here. I'm hoping that you found what you're looking for by now.
I'm trying to find funny replies to this tweet.
There's
it's a lot of references to Tim Allen being on cocaine in the 70s and stuff.
I saw one that was like,
Tim Allen kind of...
Man, you really need Wilson back. You're really hurting without Wilson.
But Tim Allen kind of has a gorilla grunt. It's more like a dog, but it could be perceived as gorilla. He's like, like that. So maybe we are more like gorillas.
Is it confirmed that he's the one that actually made that noise?
I would assume. Why would it came out of his mouth in like every episode of Home Improvement?
Jesus.
Christ. But anyway, there's not much else to say about that. Go look on Twitter and look at
check out some of
He has not deleted the tweet.
No, he's absolutely not ashamed of his stupidity here. I mean, a lot of people aren't. I mean, Donald Trump saying that we're erasing history or whatever by taking down statues.
Listen, fam. It belongs put it in a museum. You don't need it. Like, if you want to preserve history, put it in a fucking museum. You don't need it idolized on a fucking street corner.
We don't need to get back into this.
Yeah.
Anyways, So Seth Rogen was tweeting up a storm.
He was
yesterday.
2 days ago.
2 days ago, I noticed it yesterday. Superbad.
Today's Saturday.
I know. Oh. I noticed it Friday.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, all right.
I know how to do the math.
All right. But basically, Superbad turned 10 years old, which is absolutely fucking mind-boggling to me.
Jesus Christ, I didn't even think about it until I read it, and it just never even registered with me until this very moment.
Really?
That Superbad is 10 years old.
You didn't notice it on the little agenda I wrote for you?
No. I read it. I read it on the agenda. I read it on Twitter. I read it everywhere.
Yeah.
I read it, and it registered, oh, Superbad's 10 years old. It never really hit me, for me to go back in time and think about where I was in my life when I went to the theaters and saw Superbad.
Right.
Which seems...
You were old enough to see it in theaters? Or did you sneak in?
I was old enough to see it in theaters.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think I was 13.
Yeah, I'm almost 29, buddy. So I was right there. I guess I was 18. And it just doesn't even seem like it.
Yeah.
It seems like Superbad just came out
I know.
Not that many years ago.
In my opinion, it's still one of the most iconic comedies to come out in the past few, 10 years.
In the past decade.
Yeah.
Superbad.
I will say this, it's definitely my favorite comedy that's come out in the past decade.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and lead this with, I have yet to see Everybody Wants Some. Okay. I still need to see that movie. And from what I hear, everyone's saying is it's fantastic. And you know what, man? I believe them. Richard Linklater, okay, I'm sold. Superbad is the last great teen sex comedy movie that I've seen.
Yeah.
The last great one. Now, I've seen some good ones, decent ones. The last great one was Superbad. And it's up there. It's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
It's right up there, man. And I think some people will probably think this is blasphemous because, it probably feels so soon since Superbad came out. But guess what, motherfucker? It's 10 years old now. We can hold it in high regard. It's right up there with Dazed and Confused, man.
Yeah.
For me, now Dazed and Confused is better. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Dazed and Confused is better, but to me, it's right up there with it.
Yeah, and I think it benefited a lot from the year it came out. I think if a movie like Superbad came out today, it wouldn't be perceived as funny as it was back then. I don't know. Do you think you can? I don't know.
It'd be perceived as a lot more offensive.
I think I think what I mean is our generation, the people that consider it one of the greatest of all time, it hit us at the perfect age when we would want to watch a movie like that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I would probably still think it was really funny watching it if it came out today. But I also grew up in a different time.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of millennials and stuff like that, I don't want to be the guy that's millennials are ruining everything. I think that if it came out today, a lot of millennials would be offended by it.
But do you think a lot of the comedies that we've gotten in Pineapple, all the Seth Rogen and James Franco movies, essentially, do you think any of those would have even happened if they would have happened probably, but Superbad was really
I don't know if they would have happened. James Franco would be a star. James Franco, I believe, was a star before any of that, and he's not even in Superbad. So
that was really the first Seth Rogen movie that I ever saw.
As far as I know, it was the first hit of his.
Yeah,
he's definitely probably had shit before that.
Yeah, well, he was in what was that shit? Freaks and Geeks, and he was in...
Rogan was? Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was in it. I always just think of Jason Segel when I think of guys that are in that show with James Franco and stuff like that. But yeah, you're right. He was in it. He was the pothead that was just a total asshole the entire time. I can't remember if he was in Undeclared.
Seth Rogen?
Yeah, I think he was. I think he was one of the
well, that was after Superbad, wasn't it?
I don't know. It was Judd Apatow's second TV show.
Do you know
after After Freaks and Geeks got canceled,
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure like right after that he started Undeclared, and it had like a lot of people that were in Freaks and Geeks.
Fun fact, I don't know if you've seen this movie actually. We've never talked about it, but did you know that Seth Rogen was in Donnie Darko?
I mean, I've seen Donnie Darko.
Did you know Seth Rogen? He's like the bully guy.
No, I don't. I mean,
I didn't realize it 2 years later, so that was actually
obviously
the first
because
Seth
when
Rogen.
that movie came out, Seth Rogen wasn't Seth Rogen yet.
He was like a background character. He was like, "Can I touch your boobs?" or something. Like he had like 5 lines.
Going into fucking Freaks and Geeks actors, Jason Segel was in Can't Hardly Wait. Mm-hmm. He's like one of the stoners in that movie, and I didn't realize that until like probably my 5th or 6th watch of that movie.
Really?
And yes, I've watched that movie a lot of times.
That's fine.
Because that's one of my all-time favorites too. But these are movies that are for Sextember discussion. Yeah. And I'm sure we'll be revisiting Superbad at that time,
Oh,
too.
I'm sure. Do you want to hear some Superbad facts?
Yeah.
That Seth Rogen was tweeting?
I was blown away. And I saw him tweet it today that, you know, him and his best friend wrote it in high school.
Yeah, him and Evan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew that already because I read it on Wikipedia.
Right.
And I didn't know that until after I'd watched the movie a few times, though. And, you know, it kind of like blew me away at first that it was like, whoa. You know, Michael Cera is Evan.
Yeah, and Jonah Hill is Seth.
Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill plays Seth Rogen in this movie.
Yes.
So, I mean, that blew me away at the time, which was a long time ago.
Originally, they were going to play themselves, but they thought they were too old at that point, so that's why they got... Well, they were obviously too old to play high schoolers at that point.
Yeah.
But anyway, here are some Superbad trivia. Danny McBride is an extra in the background of the first party scene in Superbad. And I have not seen Superbad in a couple years, so I have not noticed that at all.
We might have to give that a revisit.
We might have to give this a rewatch. Evan Goldberg's brother Dave drew all the dick drawings in Superbad. The period blood on the legs scene in Superbad actually happened to my friend at a high school dance when we discovered it after the dance.
Oh,
so that was an actual thing.
That's cool.
Just like Superbad, Mike Snyder actually was the first guy to get a fake ID, and it was awesome. My good friend Dave Krumholtz came up with the title Superbad while we were smoking weed at the Oakwood. Okay.
All right.
This is actually an interesting fact, and if I were to ever make a mainstream movie, I would like to have something like this to put on my resume, bringing this into the pop culture world of film. But did you know that Superbad was the first film to say finger fuck?
Whoa.
So, the MPAA said that.
Wow.
That it was the first film to say finger fuck.
That's crazy. And you know what, buddy, is that we could have made a film that would have been the first to say finger blast, because as far as I know, I was the first to really ever say that. But people have been, I've seen it a couple times on the internet since then.
But is it in a movie?
I don't know if it's in a movie, but I think that our time is limited.
Yeah.
On that.
We gotta get moving fast on the
And someone listening to the podcast, one of the aspiring young filmmakers out there has already shot like 90% of their movie, and they're they're gonna put finger blast in it tomorrow.
I don't know. We got to start working on the Lost on VHS feature film. So, the end house party in Superbad was filmed a half a block away from the OJ murder house.
Oh, okay. You know what? That's awesome, because I've been, like a lot of people, really in OJ fever lately.
Yeah.
I watched the
series.
Yeah, the series.
But I have not seen
the
it yet.
TBS drama or what channels? It's not TBS. TBS is comedy. All funny.
I can't
all the
remember.
time.
It might have been like AMC or
No, not AMC. It's whatever channel does American Horror Story.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
So, I mean, because that show, and I actually didn't know this until after I watched it, American Crime Story. Mm-hmm. It's made by the same people as American Horror Story. Mm-hmm. It's American Crime Story.
Really?
So it's like the same concept, but with real life crimes. So, there's the O.J. Simpson one. The show is just absolutely phenomenal, and it put me in total O.J. fever.
Yeah.
I was watching the God damn it, parole hearing for O.J. and everything at work, and, he got off. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I was kind of like, I'm probably like the only white person in the country that was kind of like, all right, cool. Man, I don't give a fuck about Nicole and Ron, dude. Fuck it, OJ.
Well, I was too young.
Juice.
I was too young to know he was even a football player when all that was going on.
Yeah, when I was young, I had no idea just how famous OJ Simpson was.
I just knew he was called the Juice. That's all I knew.
I didn't even know that. I just saw him on TV all the time for this murder trial, and I was just like, why? Why are they paying so much attention to this guy?
Right.
I didn't even know that he was a famous football player, and by that time, like, TV personality and actor. Mm-hmm. So...
And related to O.J. Simpson, we'll keep this brief, but if you haven't seen the Dave Chappelle special on Netflix, go watch it. He talks about the 4 times in his life where he met O.J. Simpson, and it's gold.
Man, I don't know if Dave Chappelle is into this idea or not. He's probably not, but god damn it, dude, they need to bring back Chappelle's show.
I don't know if he's into it.
He's not. I guarantee he's not into that idea. But damn it, dude, just... Does Comedy Central own the rights to that name or something?
I don't know.
Can't he sign something with Netflix and do an original series on Netflix where Netflix isn't going to censor his ideas?
No.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, I don't care if you bring Chappelle's show back on Netflix as a Netflix exclusive. I don't care where you bring it back. I just want more Chappelle's show. Mm-hmm. One of the best sketch comedy shows of all time.
If not the best.
Well, let's give Saturday Night Live its due.
All right. It was short-lived. But anyway, 2 last Superbad facts, and then we'll move on.
All right.
The cast of Jersey Shore confirmed to Seth Rogen that the phrase DTF, or down to fuck, is from Superbad. That's where it was from. So I guess that's another place that was originated.
Okay, so
another
the
phrase.
Cast of Jersey Shore confirmed that. Okay.
Yes. But I guess we'll end on this last fact, as in Seth Rogen says, my mother came up with the joke that McLovin gets arrested for statutory rape at the end of Superbad.
Oh, man. Fascinating facts from the great Seth Rogen, who has not put out anything quite up to Superbad level, in my opinion, since then. But, I mean, regardless, he's been in some okay movies.
I like Pineapple Express a lot,
I'm not a big fan of Pineapple
You're
Express.
fucking nuts.
Anyway, moving on. We have several topics coming up that involve the world of wrestling. First, I guess we'll touch briefly on The Rock's tattoo, which we were unaware of last week.
Yeah.
We were both wrong. It's just a giant Brahma bull skull taking up his entire arm. And at first glance, I didn't realize it was a bull. I thought it was some sort of dinosaur at first. Because that's what I think when I see like skeletons.
It looked like
that.
a fucking, for anyone that plays Mass Effect, it looked like a Reaper. Buddy, you know what a Reaper is. You watched me fight one twice.
Yes.
So, I mean, it kind of looked like that, but like a Brahma bull Reaper. I don't know. What do you think of this thing?
I mean, if it wasn't covering up the most iconic tattoo in wrestling, I think it would be okay.
Which is a matter of debate.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything's more iconic than Goldberg's tribal barbed wire.
You know, I actually did think of one that's more iconic than Goldberg's tribal barbed wire.
What?
Mr. Kennedy's tribal whatever the fuck it is on his back.
Mr. Kennedy! Oh, fuck that guy. I don't care about The Rock's tattoo, really. It's The Rock. He's the people's champ. And
he can do what he wants.
He can do whatever the hell he wants, and the crowd's going to pop just as hard when he comes out if he ever returns to WWE again.
Yeah. But moving on, speaking of the biggest wrestling superstars of all time, we actually did receive some grim news about perhaps the greatest wrestler of all time.
Who do you have on your wrestling Mount Rushmore?
On wrestling Mount Rushmore?
Yes.
As opposed to what I think
are the wrestlers are my favorite wrestlers.
No,
The ones that paved the way.
the wrestlers that you think deserve to be on wrestling's Mount Rushmore. I mean, your favorite can maybe play a little bit into it, but don't fucking come out and say Dean Ambrose on your fucking...
Why do you think Dean Ambrose is my favorite wrestler? I don't even like him!
I'm just throwing something out there.
Okay. But anyway, if I, off the top of my head, I would probably have to say Flair, Austin, Rock, and Cena for the 4.
No Hogan?
Fuck Hogan.
Dude, fuck Hogan, but dude, on a wrestling Mount Rushmore... You gotta fucking put him on there, man.
You only get 4.
I understand that. I gotta put Hogan on there.
But who would you kick it
before Cena?
But if we're talking, because the 4 people on Mount Rushmore, I think there's like Thomas Jefferson and George Washington are around the same time period. But you gotta kind of, I don't know.
Look, man, it's
spread it out a little.
It's kind of hard because, let's face it, there are just so many incredible, all-time great wrestlers that no matter what, you're leaving some off the Mount Rushmore. So it makes it incredibly hard. There's not as many great U.S. presidents as there are great wrestlers.
But really, you could make a Mount Rushmore from any era of wrestling, because you could do one that's like Buddy Rogers, Bruno Sammartino, Pat Patterson, and Pedro Morales would be another one, I guess.
You can't.
But literally any era, you can come up with more than 4.
Gorgeous George. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, just shit like that people don't even really mention most of the time. But without Gorgeous George, we wouldn't even really have, like, a lot of the wrestler gimmicks that we have today. It pains my heart to leave a lot of the guys off of my wrestling Mount Rushmore because, man, some of them are just, like, I like them more than the guys that I'm putting on my Mount Rushmore.
So
like,
who would you put on yours?
It really pains me to leave off someone like Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Who, dude, as far as that era is concerned, he was the best, in my opinion.
Well, he is one of the few wrestlers that I think, like, if you were to take him out of the 80s and put him on, like, today's roster, he'd still be, like, a big star, you know? Because, like, his style is a lot closer than the modern style than most of the 80s
But what
wrestlers.
about his promo style, though? Do you think that would still get over?
I'd still pop for it.
He's one of those timeless guys, and I mean, dude, honestly, a lot of people don't talk about it, but Macho Man near the end of his run in WCW changed up his gimmick into something kind of a little more modern for that time, where he had his hair slicked back, and he had like the entourage of women and everything, and
It's like The Godfather, only he was over.
yeah. So, The Godfather was over. Don't you ever say The Godfather was not over. The Godfather is probably on, like, the Mount Rushmore of wrestling comedy acts, which is, like, a completely...
a whole different thing.
A different Mount Rushmore. My Mount Rushmore is very similar to yours, but I have to take out Cena for Hogan. All due respect to John Cena.
So you're going to have 2 from the Attitude Era, but none from the modern times?
Dude, you can't put a fucking modern times person on the Mount Rushmore, in my opinion. They're still here. They're still doing it. I mean, like, come on. Nobody's going to put Barack Obama on Mount Rushmore.
If they built it in like 100 years, maybe. If it wasn't built when it was built.
So much of his shit that he has done has been undone by now that
Yeah.
it's just like... probably won't even remember his presidency in 100 years.
Anyway, we're way off topic. So we're here to talk about Ric Flair.
I mean, listen.
There's not much to say.
Swap it out Cena for Hogan, because I just think that Hogan has to be on there, regardless of how you feel about his work, how you feel about his politics, his politicking backstage, and regardless of how you feel about his comments,
Yes.
his racial comments. Hulk Hogan brought wrestling to the mainstream. Hulk Hogan is the reason why I started loving wrestling, and the reason why most people that love wrestling started loving wrestling. Maybe not most millennials, But if you were a kid growing up in the 80s and you got into wrestling...
Here's the thing. If it was specifically a WWE Mount Rushmore, I would have Hogan instead of Flair, because Flair wasn't really a big player in WWE.
He was a big player. He just wasn't there for very long. He was a huge player in WWE. He won the championship like 3 times in 2 years? But I mean,
compared to the longevity that Hogan was in, because most of Ric Flair's greatest stuff was in the NWA.
Here's the deal with this. Hogan went to WCW too, and he was still the top guy over there. Hogan, for the 2 huge promotions throughout the 80s and 90s, he dominated both of them. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just it's not just WWE. He was WCW too. And you also have to consider that WCW run hugely in this. Hulk Hogan was Hollywood Hogan, one of the founding members of the NWO.
But he's also one of the key contributing factors that brought WCW burning into the ground.
Listen, man, when you think of WCW, what got them huge? It was the NWO. That's another huge iconic thing that Hulk Hogan did. He's one of the few wrestlers that has 2 completely different personas that both got over as much as you could possibly get over. Mm-hmm. He went both completely opposite ends of the spectrum and just absolutely fucking body bagged it both times, regardless of how he did it, politicking his way backstage and all that shit. Hulk Hogan's got to be on the Mount Rushmore, just the same as Ric Flair. He's got to be on the Mount Rushmore. I might take The Rock off, but I don't know for who. Jeez. Austin, Stone Cold is on there.
Garrett, yeah, that's 100%.
Stone Cold is on there. Man, if I have to take The Rock off, I feel like you got to put somebody like Gorgeous George on there, or
Bo Dallas,
Freddie Blassie, or someone along those lines. I wouldn't put Buddy Rogers on there, even though I would probably put Buddy Rogers on there because. But since there's 2 Nature Boys, you can't have 2 Nature Boys on there. Vern Gagne, we get, let's go back. Maybe put somebody on there that was huge back then. I think that somebody if you're doing just a WWE one, like you said for Hogan, mm-hmm. Bruno Sammartino is the guy that you have to be on there that you shouldn't put on there for maybe a all-around wrestling one.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So, anyways, this is all coming up because Ric Flair is still in critical condition.
Yeah.
Following a medically induced coma. They had to operate on him. I don't know all the details, but Ric Flair is having some health issues right now. And he's in critical condition as we speak. And, Jesus Christ. We just want to send out our love and our support
to the greatest,
to the Nature Boy, man. And God damn it, Ric Flair.
Give us your best woo, Jared.
Woo! Ric Flair is going to kick out of this just like he's kicked out of every single fucking pinfall attempt of a guy that he didn't want to put over.
Right.
So, I mean,
we're talking about the guy that survived a plane crash. And a guy that survived getting struck by lightning.
Before he was even famous, he survived a fucking plane crash. So, I mean, I swear to God, I remember seeing the picture of him in the newspaper. I don't remember seeing it when it happened, but I've seen it in documentaries and stuff of him that was saying that he was in the plane crash. He had these goggles on and shit. Yeah. It was not the Ric Flair we know and love today.
Right.
But he still survived a plane crash. Man.
The legend.
He's a legend in so many ways. He's a party legend. He's a wrestling legend. He is just an all-around legend who's probably said and done some regrettable things in the past. Sure. But, dude, man, there's never been a moment in time where Ric Flair has failed to entertain me.
No.
And so, Ric Flair, man, Nature Boy, we hope you get better. We're sending out our love here. We know you're a huge fan of the podcast. And we just want to let you know we love you, Nate. Kick out of this shit, and we want to see you again.
We want to see you strut out of that hospital, and I don't think he's in the. We want to see you strut out of this and drop an elbow.
That's right.
On your suit coat. Woo!